What is going on, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love? My name is Jamal Pope, aka J Fenixx, and this is going to be the July 2023 tarot reading for the Caps. The Cappies, the elves of the zodiac. That's what I say. You guys are the elves of the zodiac. So, what do we have going on for you guys for the month of July? Well, I've already given this a good shuffle, so let's go ahead and see what we got going on. So, the dominant energy that you're going to be bringing into this month. We have the Six of Cups. So nostalgia. Yeah, you guys are going to be big on nostalgia. Probably has to do with the fact that Pluto is back in your sign and you've had to deal with this for like the last 15 years and you're still having to deal with this. But this is the dominant energy that you're going to be bringing into the month of July. So nostalgia, probably ruminating on your childhood, things of that sort of nature. So let's see how the month is going to progress from week to week and those dominant energies that are going to be affecting you. So for that first week, Capricorn, we have the card of the Strength card. This is actually really awesome. This is you're having to find the courage and the strength to really move in a bold new way. Capricorn, especially with July, especially with Pluto having moved back into your sign anyways, you're definitely you're tired. Like Capricorns were born into this world looking tired, looking like they were over this shit. But this Strength card is going to give you like this nice little boost where you actually feel like you can do something. Now, the Strength card is not just necessarily having the courage and bravery to move forward. It's also the courage and bravery to drop things from our life that no longer serve us. And, I'm also hearing like there's an element where you're kind of like almost like spiritually working out, if you will. Like it's one thing just like exercising and like pushing weights or running or doing something like that. But when you're working out your body like that, you're also working out your emotional body, your mental body, your spiritual body. So there's this element too where it's like Capricorns, I think actually will be very beneficial for you guys to start like an exercise regimen, even if it's as simple as just going for a walk every single day or a few times a week, just doing something like that, just knowing that the different bodies do all affect each other. You have the power, you have the strength to move forward. It's not always easy, but you do have it. Going into that second week, we have the Six of Wands in reverse. This is kind of interesting. You have the strength to move forward, and with that Six of Wands in reverse, I'm hearing that you're wanting to be celebrated, and you're having to move forward knowing that you're not necessarily going to be celebrated in the way that you want. It's almost sort of like Capricorns are putting in all this work in many ways, and they want to be recognized for their success and how far they've come, but they're not getting the recognition that they want. I really would not worry about too much of that. I really wouldn't worry about what anyone else has to say in the crowd and stuff like that. So long as you living your truth, living like your heart space, and you really express yourself from that aspect. The Six of Wands reverse, it's almost sort of like a coming home kind of moment and no one's really there to greet you. Or maybe you don't have as big of a crowd as you think. I'm like getting the image of someone like, people getting off of a plane and everyone is waiting in the terminal with their signs and everything like that. Some people have giant crowds of people to come back to. You may just have one person to come back to, but you still have one person to come back to. That's okay. That's actually a very beautiful thing. I'm hearing that like maybe certain people might have dropped out of your life and stuff like that. And when you used to have victories in the past, you would have more people to come back to, more people to celebrate with. You're not really getting that going into the second week. But you probably still at least have at least one, maybe two people that will still celebrate you. Don't worry about trying to draw the biggest crowds, and don't get too fixated and caught up on what other people are drawing around you. Just because you see someone else maybe doing a similar thing to you, and maybe they have a much larger crowd, maybe they have a lot more people that are celebrating them, you can get jealous potentially, but don't feed into that energy. Now, going into that third week, we have the Queen of Swords upright. There is going to be a conversation that you have with an air sign, probably like a Gemini, a Libra, or an Aquarius, especially going into this Lionsgate. Mad epiphanies with this Capricorn, definitely. But this is sort of having the Queen of Swords has emotional clarity, like she's in control of her emotions, and she's also an intellectual. So the Queen of Swords gives me very Pallas Athena kind of vibes. So you might want to pay attention to that energy, and I'll cover that just throughout the month in general, because Athena is actually one of my personal guides. So there's definitely this element where you are going to start to try and figure things out, like, from like a mental aspect, right? And start to strategize, how can I morph my life into the way that I want to see it? How can I morph my life into a way that just allows the abundance to just manifest? You know what I mean? So not really forcing the issue per se, because here's the thing about this. She's not necessarily forcing the lion to look up at her. She's holding him, he's firm, but he's allowing it. His tongue is sticking out too. So like there's this element too where it's like, you don't have to force the issue. You can use your mind, Capricorn, you can use your mind and your intellect this month to try and navigate some of these energies too. So now, for that last week, we do have the card of Temperance. So there's definitely alchemy that's happening here. It's like I think it's like you coming into the month, you have like the nostalgia kick with the Six of Cups, right? Then that first week, finding the strength and the bravery to move forward. Six of Wands. Crap, I'm not getting really the crowd that I want. I'm not really achieving the victory that I want. I haven't arrived in the way that I thought. Queen of Swords. Oh, well, let me think about this differently. Let me see how I can view this from a different perspective. And in Temperance, you actually alchemize and make changes. You actually transform your life from the beginning of the month to the end of the month. Quite literally. It's pretty freaking awesome. Now, when it comes to the fire energy in your life, when it comes to passion, romance, creative projects, and the sort, we have the Two of Swords. So there's this element where there's a bit of a stalemate right now, maybe between you and a lover, or just you and a creative passion or something like that in general. There is definitely something that's holding you back. I feel like this does kind of correlate in many ways with that Six of Wands and that Queen of Swords. So going from that second to third week, you're going to kind of see this. I think you're going to, that first week, it's going to be sort of like a week where you have to kind of gas yourself up and kind of prepare for maybe the disappointment that you get, going into that second week where you thought that you might get more recognition or accolades. That Two of Swords, there's this sort of element where it's like, yeah, there's some sort of stalemate. There's some type of slowdown when it comes to that energy. But I'm hearing that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think this really just comes down to, you need to just taking the blindfold off. Now, when it comes to your earthly energy, when it comes to your finances, when it comes to your values, when it comes to how you remain solid in your life, we do have the Five of Swords in reverse. Yeah, definitely do not get caught up in petty arguments. And, there's going to be this element maybe even where you might have felt like someone has more than you. It's just sort of like it's like he's on the battlefield and he wins and he's just grabbing all these swords. But the thing is that even though he has all these swords, it's not like he can be super effective with them. It's not like he can utilize 3 swords at one time unless he's some sort of like overpowered anime character. You know what I mean? So don't get caught up on what everyone else is doing. That's what I'm hearing with this card. When it comes to like the value and like how you feel secure, the way that you're going to feel secure is by actually not feeling like you have to juggle all of these different things and do all these different battles and win all these different battles. It's the opposite, as far as how you're going to feel secure and stuff like that. Being that this isn't a finance aspect, this is sort of like something from the past that may come up to maybe bite you in the behind, or maybe definitely just be wary of weird financial aspects this whole month. You don't want to like fall for any like weird like scams and shit like that. So just be on the lookout for that too. Now, when it comes to the air energy, when it comes to communication in your life, we do have the Three of Cups. Oh, look at that. See, you're wanting to celebrate, you're wanting to receive the accolades, but then you get this Three of Cups energy. So there's going to be some element where there's going to be some type of celebration. You're going to want to have a good time. Maybe some of you guys are going on vacation and stuff like that too. But this Three of Cups is saying that, you know what, shoot, we can have a party on ourselves just because we don't need to have 20, 30, 40 people. We can just have 2 or 3 people and we can freaking rock that shit out, Capricorn. So it's almost like you almost kind of want to be the life of the party. It's like you kind of want to be Sag in a bit or Leo, but you're Capricorn, right? So it's like, there's definitely this element. I think you can have some very rewarding conversations over the month that will give you a reason to celebrate and wanting to have fun, right? So, and now for the water energy, when it comes to like your emotions, we do have the Nine of Wands upright. So yeah, there's definitely there's a brooding kind of energy here with this Nine of Wands, wondering if it's all worth it, wondering if the hard work that you've been putting in is actually going to manifest anything, wondering. I'm also hearing that the Six of Wands energy, now that this card has come up, it's like people may, instead of getting the accolade that you want, people are going to be like, oh, well, you're not worth that. You're not worthy of that. That's the whole Five of Swords thing also too, in the downright position in the Earth part of this reading. It's like, don't get caught up on what other people are per se saying. The people that are trying to bring you down, that are saying that you aren't worth anything, that what you have done is not good enough. Like Knight of Wands is like someone on the precipice of giving up because they're tired, wondering like, when will this pay off? How much do I have to keep going? Why is it still happening? But remember, you can transform your life and you have the strength and the power to do it. Overall card, though, we have the Six of Swords in reverse. Sagittarius also got this card. So, yeah, there's this definitely an element where maybe you also are feeling like you need to escape something, but the grass is actually not greener on the other side. That's pretty much what this is saying. The grass is not greener on the other side. Keep moving forward, hold your ground, celebrate with the people that matter, appreciate the small things in life. Don't get super caught up and cause yourself a stalemate just because other people aren't seeing your worth. You have to see your own worth and you have to see your true value. It's the thing about this. Now that we don't have any energies in your second house, right? Because Pluto's back in your first, you don't have anything in Aquarius. The only thing that'll be in Aquarius is whenever the moon comes back around. So that's the thing about this, So you have to kind of dig deep right now to really find that aspect and to really know that where you are right now is where you're supposed to be, right? Now, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other cards that we have, some of the oracle cards. So the dominant planet and or sign and or element that you're going to be wanting to pay attention to this month. Let's take a look at that too. All right. So your opposite sign, Cancer energy. So definitely, if you have like a dominant Cancer in your life, definitely pay attention to them. Pay attention to the communication that you have with this individual. But I think it also has to do with the fact that we are building up to this full moon in your sign. And of course, now we have, we're going to have the sun in your 7th house for a good bit of this too. We're also going to have Mercury in your 7th house of Cancer doing a good bit of this as well. So there's definitely something going on with interpersonal relationships here that you're really going to want to pay attention to this month, right? Something like with that Cancer energy, you really want to pay attention to those interpersonal relationships. So now when it comes to the Answer is Simple Oracle card, it comes to this one. What do we have? Sagittarius was thank God. Capricorn, yours is give it to God. See how you just let go of the balloons? You have to give it to God. I think, Capricorn, you may even be overworking yourself. Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe there's like a loved one someone telling you to maybe even slow it down a bit. Maybe you're feeling like you don't have time to slow down right now because you feel like you have to get all these things done. That's Pluto retrograde back into your sign. It's like all of these things that you have to try and figure out and tighten up, right? But this is the element of just giving it to God. Release some of that heaviness, some of that weight that you've been carrying. Have the strength to let it go. Have the strength to recognize that there are people in your life that are in your corner. And even though it may not necessarily be the people that were in your corner before, maybe it's changed, or maybe it's not necessarily the people that you even want, it's the people that you need right now. So just give it up and give it to God. That's really what this comes down to. So that is going to do it for your July tarot card reading, Capricorn Sun, Moon, and Rising. So I hope that you all enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I definitely appreciate it. If you'd like a personal reading with me, you can follow the link in the description below to my website, jfenixx.com. And I will see y'all for August's tarot reading, or if you subscribe in my on my next daily video. Adios, sayonara.